Good evening, my lovelies, and welcome. I'm Lady Creepypasta. The sun has set for the final time in your realm now, my dears. And to round off this year that has flown by all too quickly, I have not one but two tales of New Year terrors. So let's dive right in, shall we? This first tale is about a Japanese New Year's ritual. So come now, my dears, lean in closer and we'll begin. There is a ritual that originated in Japan that allows you to get the answer to any question you ask. This is how it goes. On the last day of the year, do not partake of any food or water for 24 hours. Do not go outside and close all of your curtains. Do not sleep either. At the stroke of 10 o'clock, 2 hours before the new year, you must prepare a fruit basket with exactly 1 pineapple, 3 bananas, 2 apples, and 30 grapes. Make sure these are precise. When you prepare the basket, you must cut your hand and allow yourself to bleed onto the fruit. Make sure you get blood on each one of the pieces. To be safe, check them all. Do not close your eyes while doing this, and do not dress your wound. At the stroke of midnight, you must find the nearest forest and walk deep into it until you find a clearing. Build a fire and sit by it with the basket of fruit in front of you. You must stay there in that position and make sure the fire doesn't go out. When the time is right, the wise one will appear out of the forest and approach you. He will be very tall and thin, almost twice as tall as your size. He will have 2 large black eyes. His mouth will be very wide, with jagged, sharp teeth sticking out of his lips. He will have no neck. He will be naked, and his expression will be blank. When you see him, don't scream or run away, or else he will chase you down and kill you. Don't say anything either. He will always be staring directly into your eyes, so do not break eye contact, or he will murder you. After he sees that you are brave enough to stay, he will kneel down, still making eye contact, and eat the fruit. Still, do not break eye contact, even as he is eating. When he is finished, he will get up, kneel down at your side, and whisper into your ear, "What would you like to know?" This is the only time you can speak to him, so choose your words wisely. You can ask him anything, from who you will marry to when your death is. He has all the answers to those questions and more, but you only get one question. When you ask him, stare directly into his eyes. When you are finished, he will whisper the answer into your ear. After this, he will get up and walk away from you and back into the trees. Do not look away from him until he is completely out of your view. You will then doze off and wake up in your bed the next morning. It's always fun to learn about other cultures and customs, isn't it now, my dears? This second tale takes place on New Year's Eve of 1944 and is entitled The Medic. In the winter of 1944, with overtaxed supply lines in the Ardennes, a medic in the German army had completely run out of plasma, bandages, and antiseptic. During one particularly bad round of mortar fire, his encampment was a bloodbath. Those who survived claimed to have heard, amidst the screams and barked commands of their lieutenant, someone cackling with almost girlish glee. The medic had made his rounds during the fire in almost complete darkness, as he had so many times before, but never had he been this short on supplies. No matter, he would do his duty. He had always prided himself on his resourcefulness. The bombardment moved to the other ends of the line, and most men dropped off to sleep in the dark. Still hours from the morning, New Year's Day, 1945. The men awoke at first light with screams. They discovered that their bandages were not typical bandages at all, but hunks and strips of human flesh. Several men had been given fresh blood transfusions, yet there had been no blood supplies available. Each treated man was almost completely covered, head to toe, with the maroon stain of blood. The medic was found, sitting on an ammunition tin, staring off into space. When one man approached him and tapped him on the shoulder, his tunic fell off to reveal that large patches of his skin, muscle, and sinew had been stripped from his torso, and his body was almost completely dried of blood. In one hand was a scalpel, and in the other, a blood transfusion vial. None of the men treated for wounds that night in that camp saw the end of January 1945. Thank you for joining me this New Year's Eve, my dears. The past couple of months you may have found me somewhat absent. This is due to various personal challenges in my realm of late. So please do remember that I do appreciate all your support, and I always love reading your comments. Hopefully this new year will bring us more joy, abundance, and prosperity for all of us. Before we leave, I would like to say a special thank you to my dark family on Patreon, whose support keeps this podcast and channel going. Family members such as Dawn Fritzwater, Melissa Perez, Honey Santiago, Oliver Dace, L. Andrew Augustus, Dana Fringer, Stephen Aguilera, Tay the Fluth, Bill Fawnsley, Laura Setapenry, and everyone listed in the description below. So thank you for joining me this evening, my dears. Till next year, sweet dreams.